Hi, everyone. It's Saturday. It is time for your Extraordinary Stories Live. And today I have a Chief Executive Editor of Oxygen Publishing, Richard Tardif, with me to talk to you a little bit about something we're excited about at Oxygen. Right, Richard?
Yes, we're incredibly excited. The opportunity to co-author a book on any subject possible in the entire world. Yes, the entire world. Now that's bad editing. I should be saying the whole world, but we're going to say the entire world. It's an opportunity for people to become co-authors, contribute to their field of business. And the amazing thing is, it's a great project that you can do in 6 months. And if you're the one behind it, you are the author, and you will be a first-time publisher or a second-time publisher. And this is our new executive branch of Oxygen Publishing, and that's where we're moving to. So yeah, it's just something exciting, and we've already done a few books. We're working on a few books, aren't we?
Yes, we are. And we had really this incredible opportunity to work on a co-author project recently with 40 co-authors, and the process was streamlined really quite well for a lot of authors who really desire a book out there, who are a little bit resistant to what they perceive as something really daunting, taking on an entire book on their own. Now, that doesn't mean that they shouldn't do that. Sometimes the co-author project model is a great first stepping stone into single solo authorship. But here's the thing, as a business owner, you are an expert in your own field, in your own area of expertise in the marketplace. And chances are you have a circle of influence who are also experts in that same area of expertise. And sometimes those business owners are also daunted by the task of putting together a book, a solo book project. So this is a really great opportunity for you if you would like to be a lead author and or co-author in a project that is led by a team of experts like us at Oxygen. So there's a few really, really great reasons for you to want to think about this. As business owners, we all understand that we need to have visibility for people to know who we are and to be able to engage with our products and services. And it's not a secret that writing and publishing books is a phenomenal way to do that. Part of the challenge for business owners, entrepreneurs, is that they sometimes will put off doing it because they can't, in their mind, put together time and energy to put content together. So as a co-author project, you and, let's say, for today's discussion, 25 authors have an opportunity to do that and collaborate. And this is part of the model, the business culture that Oxygen has just as a business platform. We collaborate with experts all over the world to do what we love to do best. So we thought, why don't we take this opportunity to bring this potential for some of the authors that are watching that are not really thinking of a solo project because it's daunting. There are investments that they don't want to particularly make today, but they would like to be able to bring on other people to be able to share and leverage those, not only the investment in the project, but there's a really great co-promotion part of the model, right? So if you're an author and you have one job, one chapter, your signature story, and you've got a team of people who can now assemble with you 25 other authors who have one job, one singular story to contribute, we take care of putting all of that together in one book with a multitude of voices. And Richard, you're really the entry point to this, right? So as an editor and as a director of this area that we're now really opening up for authors, tell us about the experience that we've just had where those stories come in, you get to read a dozen or so of them, and then what do we do next for our authors?
One of the unique advantages of me being an editor and also in charge of the intake to help you out is that everyone has their different styles. Yeah. And this is what makes a co-author collaborative book a beneficial book. Now, once we've assessed, let's say, the first 10 inputs that we've taken in, I get a sense now where we're heading. And what we could send out style sheet wise or assessment wise to more authors and the authors that already came in. That makes it easier for all of us, including the main author, where now we're working together on a set standard, a set style sheet, and we can speed up that process because the editing process becomes easy. What happens during the editing process? Of course, I work with the co-authors and the author as well needs that. Once this happened, we have a Zoom meeting with getting to know you with all our authors, or as many as we can possibly get on one Zoom who are available, because much of our authors, we're very busy people.
Yeah.
Yet we get to understand that because now I can contact the co-authors directly on this, of course, with our main author involved, so I don't have a middleman. So we save time going through that. And as they come in, they get edited one at a time. And when we finally got our 25, 26, and by the way, some of our authors end up with maybe 35, which signals right away what? Volume 2.
Yep.
The next book. And this is where the process goes with us. And when you and me are finally happy with our intake, we might even decide to section it up, because we may have something more on one area of topic or next. So maybe you have 3 sections, or maybe it's just the entire book is one beautiful thing. That's where we go with this. Once they're in, we're ready to go. We've edited and we're happy. It will move on to the proofreading process. Just like if you were the sole author of your own book for 40,000 words, the process will continue. And as always, we stay in touch with all our co-authors. That's a process that I think you and me as a co-author would have a blast and a lot of fun. I have a lot of fun when we're editing these books anyways, and we get to know each other and we have a joyful time when we're editing. It's not like the typical, I'm your editor with a fancy black hat on my head.
And a big red pen.
And a big red pen, and I'm a mean old guy who used to be an old time editor. That's not what we do anymore. We work with you, and as you can see, I'm pretty happy with this project. And that's where we move to the next stage of proofreading, where we would not proofread. Now we need to have that arm's length distance and let someone who hasn't even read a word of the script have a go at it. But that's standard practice in the industry. The benefits of this is everybody becomes an author.
That's right.
I love being an author, and Carolyn's an author, and she knows the benefits and the joy of that. So that's where I come in and love to go. Now, as the one who's handling the intake, I make sure I oversee the project from start to finish. We do have professional people, but I like to oversee how things are going from start to finish. So you wouldn't be alone, and the opportunity exists for more of these wonderful books.
Yeah, that's such a great, thanks, Richard. I mean, that's such a great point that we like to impress upon any author that comes into our atmosphere, right? Oxygen has its very own air supply. And it's really important for you to understand that you are supported by a team of professionals that are each experts in their own right in the industry. So, Richard takes the assessment and the editing part of the process. And in this case, the collection of your co-author stories pretty seriously, because your name's on the book, as is all of your co-authors at some point in time when we get into the design of that book on the exterior and the interior. Each one of you has your own place in there legitimately as an author in this one book. So if we take a look at what is the subject matter, we like to think that these co-author books could potentially be your positioning as the founder of a movement. Okay, so let's say you're writing about a health challenge that you've overcome, and you have an assembly, a co-author staple of people who also have expertise in that field. You could potentially create a movement about this one thing with a chorus of your voices, not just your single voice. So there's great opportunity for co-marketing, because as a solo author, you're responsible for your single voice and making sure that that voice is out there making some noise, right, in the marketplace. But as co-authors, collectively, you're out co-marketing and co-promoting your book. So there's 26 of you co-marketing your book, creating some noise. And then we've seen movements and communities and businesses grow just from this one
Yeah.
idea of co-authoring and collaborating as a community. What Richard said is a fantastic way to put a Zoom call together when you've gone and assembled your entire co-authorship group. Then we meet with you and your team, whether it's Richard or the proofreader that we put on your project or our design team. We're now here to take all of your stories, wrap them up with a bow, design the exterior and the interior. What does it look like? What does it feel like? What marketplace are you selling it? Do you have a website? How are you promoting the book? This becomes a 6-month project. And from start to finish, I would say you can count on about 6 months, because there are parts to this. Some parts take a little longer to achieve than others. But at the end of the day, if you were to imagine yourself 6 months from now with a book, with your name on it as the founding author or one of the co-authors of a project, you could imagine also how you can impact readers all over the world, how you can grow your business by being able to tell people, listen, don't just take my word for it. Come and read this book. I've got 25 other co-authors who are also experts in the field giving their perspective on this particular subject. So as a team, Oxygen brings everything that we bring to a solo author project, and we've done dozens and dozens of those. We want to help you create this book with a variety of people in your industry that could then bring impact to the lives of other people collaboratively. And as a collaborating group of people as Oxygen, it's a perfect match, right?
These are projects of the future. I've noticed that in my career, there's more collaborative books coming together. Now, there are several reasons for this. There's so many people who have so much to say in the business. And a lot of lead authors are actually podcast influencers, and they're influencers in other areas. And a lot of the market comes from that. A lot of co-authors come from that because they're on the podcast. That's a step that you should think about.
Yeah.
If you have many influence on your podcast, you have
co-authors.
You have co-authors who are eager, willing, and upfront, and are already past that stage of, wow, should I invest in this? And this is what it is.
Yeah.
It's an investment into the future, because, we all make an invest. We all look at return of investments, but if we look at investment in something like this, it's endless.
Well, and it amplifies, that's the thing. Like you get from adding, from the concept of adding people to your community, and you look at it now in terms of multiplying your power. Okay. So Richard makes a fantastic point. There are so many people in the podcast world right now, and you have access to their expertise. And if you were to ask a lot of your guests that have already been part of your show, your content is already there. Their content is already done. It's just a question of packaging it, organizing it, and putting it together in one place. And that's what we offer. We would say to you, who are these potential people? We can help you pitch it. We can help you put that document together that's going to put all the value proposition together in your particular area. What does that look like? What is the investment for you? What's the investment for your co-authors? And there's very small investments for this kind of a project when you're collaborating with other people, right? There is strength in numbers, we always say. And so how do we position you to be able to go to your authors and say, listen, this is an idea I have. How would you like to become a co-author or collaborate in this project? So we help you even from the ground up to establish what does that look like, put together something for you to be able to go out, bring in your interested parties, and then put something together as far as ideas, and then grab hold of the influencers in your marketplace, organize the content, edit the content so that it sounds fantastic on paper, design the content, and publish it. So we're pretty excited, Richard and I, because the possibilities are endless, and the marketplace, as Richard has said, lends itself to this. I'm sure that there's people watching here that can already think of people that have said to them, I really should write a book, but I don't have the time to do
Yep.
that. I don't have the energy to do that. I don't know where to start. I'm just not going to do that at this time. Let us help you help them. That's what
Cool.
we're proposing to you.
Exactly, exactly. And the enthusiasm of the books that we have done to date, the enthusiasm of the co-authors, such quality,
Yes.
inquisitive writing, that I'm fortunate that I get to learn so much about this businesses. But the standard is already there, I've noticed, when coming in. And there's
Yes.
our regular editing, and maybe we should try this and try this. But I'm just impressed by the couple that we've done so far, and the ones we're looking into. There's quality writings. I've noticed the lead authors have become really excited about this as well. And that really means that at the end, we have an exciting book. Just want to say again, I know where the future is going on a lot of these books right now, and it's going to collaborative things. Just one more point before we end. When we bring this book up to Amazon, your name is there. Right away, you're linked. Right away, you're linked into that book. And that is a small selling point. However, cannot underestimate the power of those authorship in that point. And we make sure that your name does end up on Amazon there. So there's a whole whirlwind of opportunities for everyone out there. And I just want to reiterate Carolyn's point, man, to write 40,000 words, your own book, now you can get out there in 1,200 to 1,500. And you can have your say. And of course, you can say shorter time, concise time, and you become an author without writing 6.5 years of 40,000 words.
You know, it's so true. And you know, for so many of us who are content creators out there every single day, you already have the content. You could take a small talk that you did. You can take LinkedIn posts that you've done. You can take Instagram posts that you've done. You can collectively put all of those together into a signature chapter. So if you're thinking about, I got to sit down and I got to think of even 1,500 words, chances are you've already got them. Right? You've already got the content. And what happens, and I've seen it happen time and time again, is authors who begin in a co-authorship situation get so fired up about the opportunities and how it impacts their business by having a book and calling themselves an author. Then they take the leap of faith and they say, you know, I have a lot more to say. I need a book on my own. I've tried this and it's fantastic, and I've seen results, and I've seen things change in my business and in my world and in my credibility. I think it's time for me to take a bigger stage for myself and write my own book. So I always say it's a way for you to kind of, you know, dip your toe in the water and try and see how it feels to you to be an author. But Richard and I can both tell you, authorship has many, many benefits that you aren't even aware of yet. But we'd like to talk to you about how your expertise might be a great place to start with a co-authorship book. I'm going to put a link down below where you can find out more. And Richard and I would love to have a conversation with you and just discover who you are and how we can help you grow.
Fantastic.
Thanks,
Look forward
Richard.
to it.
We look forward to talking to you. We look forward to collaborating with you. Oxygen Publishing is already ready to take on your co-authorship project. We just need you to help us do it. Thanks, everybody.